Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Meetinghouse of Provincetown, where we affirm the inherent worthiness and dignity of every person, and where we support each other on our spiritual search for truth and meaning. My name is Reverend Kate Wilkinson, and I am so glad you have joined us this morning. I am extra glad for those of you who have joined us this morning and weren't scared off by the snowflakes. Welcome to all of you in the room, and welcome also to those of you joining us via our live stream. It's so good that we all figured out that today is Sunday so that we could be here together this morning. It's been really hard knowing which day it is lately. That always happens between Christmas and New Year's, doesn't it? Routines are upended and you stay in bed late on days you'd normally need to go to work, and stores are closed on days they're usually open. It might be Monday, it might be Thursday, we don't know. It's also very unclear what time it is, because starting at 4:30 every day, it feels like midnight. We had some visitors from Florida last week, and they asked me, "How do you live here?" It is dark all the time. And I said, we go to bed at 8. So today's service is all about reacclimating ourselves to what day it is, recovering after a hectic holiday season, reconnecting with each other, and our grounding routines and rituals that anchor our lives together in such a meaningful way. But before we begin our worship service, I have just a few announcements to share. This one is no longer relevant because our folk list just got fixed this morning. Oh, yay. Thank you for your efforts on that, Kenneth. We're so sorry that we haven't been able to communicate well with you via our UUMH folk list the past few weeks, and that it took us a little while to realize those emails weren't going out. Started up again this morning, but I just also want to mention that you can always find our live streamed and recorded services on our YouTube channel, UUMH P-Town. And you can always get to our Zoom coffee hour on Tuesdays by following links from older email announcements. Anything that says Zoom coffee hour, we use the same link each week for that. So thank you for your patience. Our knitting group will be meeting on Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. All are welcome to join us. And Wednesday evening at 6, we will be having Quaker worship downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall, a great way to start the new year with silence and reflection. And finally, if you are attending in person today, we hope you'll stick around for a little while after the service for coffee and conversation downstairs in Acker Bosworth Hall. Let's take a moment now to affirm our Meetinghouse covenant. You can find this printed on the purple laminated cards at the ends of your pews, but I'm actually going to say it line by line, so you can just repeat each line back to me. Love is the spirit of this Meetinghouse. This is our great covenant. To dwell together in peace. To seek the truth in love, and to help one another. Now, as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary, I invite those of you watching from home to light a candle wherever you are. In this way, we can feel connected even while we are apart. This morning, I invite our worship host, Lee and Lyle, to light our chalice.
Our chalice lighting words this morning are by Jamie Yandel. We light this chalice for the quiet truths we carry, and for the future we're brave enough to write. In this circle, we honor the courage it takes to live openly, the softness that sustains us, and the joy and power that grow when we gather. As the chalice glows, May we feel steadiness rise in us. May we trust that our becoming, messy, radiant unfolding, wholly belongs to us.
I invite you to join me now in singing our opening hymn. This one is from the Teal Hymnals, and it's number 1011, Return Again. I think you did this one last week. It sounded so pretty. I'm going to do it again. Return Again. It's 1011, and we're going to sing the first part twice, then the second part twice, and then we're going to go back to sing the first part twice again. Makes sense? And this is kind of a chant for reconnecting with our souls. And I think you can just stay seated for this one. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the home of your soul. I invite you to join me in a spirit of meditation and prayer. After the meditation, we will sing together Spirit of Life, hymn number 123 in the gray hymnals. You can also find the words to this song printed on those same purple laminated cards in your pews, and we'll sing it first in English and then in Spanish. Before sharing my chosen prayer this morning, I just want to acknowledge that it felt like a slightly scarier world to wake up to yesterday. The UUA, the Unitarian Universalist Association, has put out a statement condemning the actions of this administration in Venezuela, which you can read online. But for us here this morning, I just invite you to dig more deeply into the values that we do hold as Unitarian Universalists: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, generosity, and love. May they anchor us in uncertain times and guide us to each next right thing. And since we are talking about this feeling of being neither here nor there this morning, I've chosen a prayer that helps with that. And I'm going to invite any members of the worship committee who are here to come forward and spread yourselves out across the front for this. The Benedictine nuns of Cuernavaca, Mexico, welcome a lot of travelers. And they believe that sometimes when you travel, your body arrives before your soul does. And the nuns, they came up with a prayer to help our souls and our spirits catch up to where our bodies are. And so I'm going to invite you to join me in that prayer. Now it's an embodied prayer, which means that we will use our bodies to help us in praying. So I invite you to follow along. And we're going to try to do this seated, except that I've invited these lovely folks to do it for you standing in front. You can either watch them or follow along in your seat. And I thank Reverend Marta Valentine for sharing this prayer with me. We begin by placing our feet on the earth. We feel its energy, breathing, slowing, relaxing our bodies, and opening to the spirit of life. Bringing our hands to the prayer position, thumbs touching our heart, we remember our connection to the heart of the universe and all that is. Bringing our hands down, open, palms up, in a gesture symbolic of gratitude, we gratefully receive the gifts of this day. Grateful for the gifts we recognize and those we don't. Grateful for those who people our circles. We open ourselves to receive the gifts of this week's journey. Touching our palms back to back, fingers pointing to the sky, in a gesture symbolic of memory. We remember our past, all that has brought us here. Grateful for all of what has made us who we are. We give thanks for our individual and collective past. Turning our hands back still together, fingers moving in to touch the heart, in a gesture recognizing our authentic selves. We feel our emotions, feeling where we are right now, and what is happening inside, who we are without the masks. We give thanks for our authentic selves and all the feelings we carry into this moment and into this week. Extending our arms out, palms down, we reach for the good, the sacred, in a gesture symbolic of reaching for God, our yearning to connect, to love and be loved. And bringing our arms up to the sky, we give thanks for the air that we share, rich and poor, all of God's creation. We acknowledge that we pollute the air, and we ask forgiveness. We acknowledge the mystery of the skies and the universe, and we give thanks. Coming down to touch the earth, or maybe just our pew cushions, we express thanks for her. We acknowledge that we often do not even recognize we are walking on her. We acknowledge that we pollute and harm the earth, and we ask forgiveness. And coming upright again, we bring our hands into prayer position at the third eye, and we ask for vision, for clarity, and for new ways to live and to love. And bringing the hands back to the heart, touching our God center, we feel how we are always connected to the spirit of life. Amen. Now we have our time for all ages. We don't have all the ages in the room today, but we have some of them. Did anyone get anything good, any presents over the holidays? A few of you, yeah? Have you put your presents away yet? This is the time of year when we're supposed to be moving on from the holidays, but we haven't quite gotten around to finding new homes for all of our gifts, right? Later I'm going to talk a little bit about what's still left under my tree. And I was trying to pick away at it a little this morning, finding homes for things, and I came across this item from my stocking that I thought I would share with you today. It is the world's tiniest violin. And it plays. You ready for it? I'm actually better at this violin than I am at my full-size violin. No, in general, when people play you a tiny violin, it's not necessarily a positive thing. Usually means they're teasing you a little, like, all right, enough of your sob story, right? But yeah, I'm bringing it to new heights with my... I don't really know where this belongs in my home, but for now it belongs in our wonder box here. Feel free to come up and play it later. Everyone's just as good at playing the world's tiniest violin. Thank you.
Our reading this morning is from The Day After by Ralph Blanchard. I think the next day is what I mostly like about Christmas. When the wrapping paper and tinsel and other gay Beatrice are carefully tucked away and the happy, excited look in the children's eyes is fresh in yesterday's memory, along with the kindly smiles of family and friends, and strangers even. And I am aware that we have safely navigated the white water of another year with its successes and its sorrows, and our eyes now focus only on the tree.
Thank you. Now is the time when we take a collection for the ongoing support of this Meetinghouse and our shared ministry. As we enjoy a musical reflection by our choir, we welcome your donations here in the sanctuary or online through PayPal or Venmo. You can find that information on our website, uumh.org. At this time, I invite 3 volunteer ushers forward to take up our collection. On and off site, your offerings will now be gratefully received. And now we welcome the new year, full of things that have never been. I've been really leaning into the whole looking at the tree thing this past week. You remember that line from Lee's reading? We have safely navigated the white water of another year with its successes and its sorrows, and our eyes now focus only on the tree. In these in-between days, I've been enjoying the slower pace and the small pleasures and the tree. No more presents underneath, just a few random piles of stocking items still to be put away, the tiny violin, a few bags to hunt through for pieces of chocolate. It's been nice. But the other day, the bottom third of the lights went out on my tree. And on Friday, the top half of the lights stopped working as well. So now it's kind of depressing to look at. And the piles underneath are starting to get to me too. It's time to move on from the holidays, to move on past the day after and squarely into the new year, 2026. But it's actually a little harder than it sounds, coming down from the holidays. We've just been through quite a stretch, haven't we? Starting way back in November with Thanksgiving, and then Advent and Solstice and Hanukkah and Christmas and New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, and concerts and parties and gifts and travel and rituals and time with friends and lonely nights and nostalgia, missing family and seeing family and creating family. Some of us are coming down off of a high, and some of us are trying to dig ourselves out of our grief. Some of us are feeling lonely now that there aren't all those social plans on the horizon. For some of us, work piled up over the holiday break, and now we're a little overwhelmed. Officially, the days are lengthening now, but some of us are facing seasonal depression because, as pointed out by the Floridians, it is so dark here all the time. In these murky weeks after the holidays, how do we get back to center, back to routine, and back to the better versions of ourselves? I don't think it's through making New Year's resolutions and setting hard-to-reach goals. I think there's more of a gentleness to it. I hope there's more of a gentleness to it. So I have 3 ideas about ways to move gently into the new year, and then I hope that at Zoom Coffee Hour on Tuesday, you can give me your ideas, and together we'll make it through. For me, and I've shared this with you before, the shortest shortcut I know to getting back to a more centered me involves taking a break from sugar. The holidays are so full of sugary treats, and I've really enjoyed that, but it also sets me on a roller coaster of hormones and cravings and energy crashes that are a little bit hard to come back from. But I have learned over the years that if I can suffer through 4 days in a row with no sugar, all my systems come back into balance. The cravings go away, the highs are not so high, and the lows are not so low. My brain feels more mine, and I feel more stable. And it took me a lot of years to figure this out. I'm still learning so much about how things are connected. Things that your regular doctors don't really tell you about, that you have to look into on your own, that you have to listen to your body to find out. And I wonder if there's some wisdom that your body has offered to you over the years that helps you to recenter. I'm on day 3, by the way. Which means I'm starting to feel a little bit better, but I had to skip some really delicious looking wedding cake yesterday, and that was a bummer. I've been doing a lot of reading about the gut lately, and it's fascinating. It's not just about digestion and metabolism. Our gut also affects our immune response, our blood pressure, the condition of our skin. It's related to depression, anxiety, and mental health. Did you know that the gut houses 70% of the body's immune cells? Or that there's a two-way connection between our gut and our brain called the gut-brain axis, where stress affects the gut, and the gut health influences mood and cognition. We have that expression, don't we? Listen to your gut. And it turns out that's because our gut is actually kind of like a second brain. I tell you this because it fascinates me, but also because it is a spiritual practice, not just to listen to our gut, but also to remember how amazing our bodies are. Our bodies are incredible, intricate, magical things, and we have to take care of them. So number 1 in recovering after the holidays is eating nourishing foods, drinking enough water, getting enough sleep, making those doctor's appointments we've been putting off, recognizing that our bodies are temples, that they are beautiful just as they are, even though they are changing, and that they are working so hard for us, and they need our tender care. How might that shift the year ahead if we could think of our bodies as sacred? Just like we need to get back in touch with our bodies after the holidays, it's also a good time to get back in touch with our feelings, to kind of take a mental inventory of how we felt during the holidays and what we might be able to learn from that. Whether we realize it or not, we've been on an emotional journey this last month. Now, Jo Collette, a tattoo artist and mom, remembers her first set of holidays in recovery. She'd been sober and drug-free for 7 months. We had a small Christmas that year, she says, with my mom and my 2 siblings gathered together at mom's house for a casual dinner. Being back in the country home I spent time in as a child, seeing family photos and smelling my mom's wood fireplace burning, sounds nostalgic and beautiful. But to me, she says, it was excruciating. Everywhere I looked, I was surrounded by memories that brought back a flood of emotion. A school photo from the year I dropped out of high school. Paintings and drawings I had done as a young kid that my mom still held on to. Journal entries, my childhood bedroom. Typical things one might find on a visit back for the holidays, but for me, these seemingly mundane items held intense reminders of painful moments from my past. A feeling of shame around the way I handled myself in addiction, and remorse for what I had put my loved ones through. I ate the food my mom had made, participated in small talk, and put in my time with the visit. But when the time came to leave, I couldn't have been more relieved to make my exit. Maybe the holidays are not like that for you, but holidays always do bring up memories from the past, the good ones and the hard ones. The rituals of the holidays surface things for us. Things we think we've dealt with or integrated or left in the past. But they all come rushing back in with the smells and sounds and tastes of the season. It took time and attention and a lot of work for Jo to become more comfortable celebrating with her family. But she paid attention to the feelings. She risked sharing more of her story. She came up with things that helped, like bringing a sober friend with her to events she knew might be hard. And now, spending her 8th set of holidays in recovery and bringing her partner and 7-year-old son with her, she says she gets excited about family gatherings and has an easier time being truly present. It's only because she worked through all those other feelings first. Katie Carhart is a clinical psychologist who writes about using our feelings as a guide. She says feelings give us important information about what is most aligned for us. If you're feeling sad, are you feeling wistful for something specific? Is there something you can plan into your post-holidays that would help connect you to what you're missing? Grief for loved ones no longer with you can be met with taking some time to honor them, she says. Dissatisfaction with how things went with a sibling or a parent or a child can point to boundary setting that might need to happen, or expectations that need to be named next time around. Loneliness might lead us to a more concerted effort to make connections in the new year. Regret might lead us to make an apology or change course. Overwhelm can lead to an evaluation of what's on our plate right now. Contentment might allow us to sit with our gratitude and let it deepen. Instead of getting stuck in the feeling or judging the feeling, get curious about it, Carhart says. Sit with it to determine what the emotion is trying to tell you, and use the feelings as a guide to make decisions in the future. So honor our bodies, honor our feelings, and third, plan something to look forward to, no matter how small. There's a lot of unstructured time after the holidays, and it can cause us to feel adrift. Something as small as a coffee date with a friend can help to anchor our day and give us purpose. Even deciding to make yourself a special dinner, making a list, and going to the grocery store can help you shift from feeling like life is happening to you to actually shaping it. A simple plan gives your mind a roadmap, even if it's just for a little while. One evening, Laura Smith says, I realized I spent entire days reacting to emails, to notifications, to other people's moods. I had no small routines that were actually mine. And that scared me more than my loneliness. So I decided to experiment, she says, not with a huge life makeover, but with tiny daily habits. Simple things that took a few minutes, but that I could repeat, even on bad days. One of the things she started doing was walking to the end of her street and back each day. At first it was kind of like checking something off a list, but soon she began to really enjoy it, to look forward to it. Like it was a treat built into her day. She came up with several of these daily rituals, and it helped. None of these habits magically fixed my life overnight, Laura says, but together they changed the tone of my days. The fog lifted. I still have hard moments, she says, but I don't feel trapped inside them anymore. Winter Wednesdays registrations just opened up on the Outer Cape, and soon we'll be publishing our Winter Spirituality series offerings here at the Meetinghouse and online. Maybe there is something on one of those lists that will call to you. It can be your thing to look forward to each week. Honoring our bodies, honoring our feelings, making a plan, even a small one. This is how we can enter 2026 gently. This is how we can welcome the new year, full of things that have never been. I'll end as we began in prayer. This one is by Kate Lohr. Great Spirit of life, as a new year begins, we turn inward to reflect about the state of our lives. What lessons have we learned in the past year, and which new ones now call us forward? To whom do we still owe an apology or expression of thanks? And with whom must we draw fresh boundaries? As we pause from our regular rhythms of rush, 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 we open ourselves to new perspectives and possibilities. We give thanks for these moments and for the wisdom they afford us. May they help bring us together in the sacred dynamics of life so that we, as individuals and as members of this community, might reach our full potential. As we step across this threshold, let this new year be a year of greater awe and gratitude, of deeper kindness and acceptance, and more courageous acts of conviction for a kinder, more equitable and sustainable world is not only possible, she is on her way. And in the quietness of this sacred community, we can ever hear her breathing. Amen. And blessed be. Our closing hymn is number 350 in the gray hymnals, The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time. That's number 350, The Ceaseless Flow of Endless Time. Please rise as you are able. You may be seated.
It has become our practice to pose a question based on the theme of the service each week. It can be a topic of sharing at coffee hour today or with friends during the week. If you'd like to delve deeper into this topic, we invite you to our midweek Zoom coffee hour on Tuesdays at 5. If you're not sure how to access the Zoom meeting, please let Kenneth in the office know, and he can get you that link. It is the same link every week. Our question this week is, what helps you recover after the holidays? What helps you recover after the holidays?
And I'll end with these closing words. A kinder, more equitable and sustainable world is not only possible, she is on her way. Welcome 2026, and go in peace.